Hey guys, welcome to Fight and Fit. My name is Matt, and the topic of discussion today is going to revolve around the carnivore diet. I decided that for the month of January, I am going to give my go at the carnivore diet, and the purpose of this channel and this series is to document that experience. So without further ado, let's jump in. For those of you who are not familiar with the carnivore diet, it is a 100% animal-based diet, meaning that you only eat animals, so no fruits, no vegetables. You're supposed to eat 2 to 3 very large meals a day. You're supposed to eat until you are comfortably stuffed. And one of the perks of this diet in particular is there's no calorie counting, there's no weighing out of your foods, there's no points associated with any of the foods. You simply eat until you are stuffed. Since you're not eating any carbs or carbohydrates, your body enters what is called ketosis. Now, most of you have probably heard of the keto diet. It is a ketogenic diet, meaning that your body enters ketosis. And essentially what ketosis is when your body switches from burning carbohydrates as fuel to burning fats and proteins as fuel. So it's really similar to the keto diet, with the exception being that on the carnivore you're eating absolutely no carbs or as close to zero as you can, and on the ketogenic diet you're eating a very, very constricted amount of carbohydrates. I'm doing this carnivore diet for health reasons strictly, and I've been flirting with the idea of doing it for a couple years now, and I decided to finally pull the trigger on it and to try to do it. I have very close relatives, immediate family members who have autoimmune disorders, and supposedly the carnivore diet helps to alleviate a lot of the issues that come with your autoimmune disorders and can even make them essentially disappear. So while I've not been diagnosed with any autoimmune disorders myself, I wanted to give this diet a try to see if it could potentially make me feel better and maybe be preemptive about any autoimmune disorders that may befall me in my future. And if I have success with the diet, maybe have those family members try it and see if it helps them. I really enjoy eating meat, so it's not that daunting to me, the idea of only eating meat. If some people might like sweets, chocolates, cupcakes, cakes, but honestly, if you put a fat ribeye in front of me, I'm about as happy as you can possibly be. You're supposed to lower the inflammation in your body, or rather the diet is supposed to lower the amount of inflammation in your body, and you're supposed to lose weight. And I'm pretty comfortable with where my body weight is right now, but I know that getting all the inflammation out and getting my body fat and my total body weight down isn't necessarily a bad thing. And then lastly, I think it's just good to do hard things and to push yourself and to challenge yourself. And I intend to obviously challenge myself with this diet. I don't think it's going to be easy. But pushing myself physically isn't really something that I'm new to. I grew up playing sports. I grew up lifting weights. All through college, I was pretty active and I lifted weights for the majority of my time and did pretty well there. But after I graduated college, like so many people, I got a desk job, and my physical health kind of started to go downhill pretty rapidly. And I wasn't training consistently. I would maybe do, a couple weeks on and then a couple weeks off, and my diet and nutrition really wasn't good. But as of March of 2022, the end of March, I've been very consistent in the gym and pretty consistent nutrition wise. I've lost about 20 to 25 pounds. And I've done that with 15 to 16 workouts a month, a traditional split: chest day, back day, shoulder day, leg day. And I want to note really quick that I'm not a certified nutritionist. I have no background in sports medicine. I'm solely just interested in the topic and passionate about exercise and diet. I did take a nutrition class in college, but that's the only formal education that I've had regarding either sports medicine, training, or nutrition. I really did enjoy that class, but the bulk of my knowledge has come from YouTube and from reading articles. To touch on nutrition and exercise for this challenge, this carnivore challenge that I'm doing in January, I know I mentioned that you're not supposed to count your calories or weigh your foods, but for the sake of documenting this month and sharing it with you guys, and for just peace of mind, I'm going to document the foods that I'm eating, the amount of calories I'm getting, just because I know from past experience with myself personally that it's really easy for me to undereat, and I don't want to starve myself. I want to make sure I'm getting enough calories to function. I don't want to rapidly lose weight and have no energy, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of doing this. I'm trying to make myself healthier and feel better. But as far as the meals that I'm going to eat, I'm planning on doing 2 meals a day, one large meal around noon and one very large meal in the evening. My first meal, I plan on it being mostly eggs and bacon and a little bit of cheese. And then in the evening, I'm going to be eating a pound of ground either venison or beef. I'm going to alternate every day, beef Monday, venison Tuesday, and so on. And then in addition to that, I'm going to be eating a steak or a pork chop or some chicken or some fish every evening. Some notable changes that I'm making to my diet, aside from cutting out all carbohydrates, is I'm cutting out coffee. And I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I was going to do that, but I figured that if I'm going to do it, I might as well just, go all in, because I am trying to eliminate everything that's not animal based out of my diet in hopes that it would make me feel better. And I would hate to look back and see that I was having an inflammatory response to coffee and just never knew it. So rather than just risk that and risk doing all of this for no reason, essentially, I'm going to cut out coffee. I'm also changing my workout routine to 2 upper days and 2 lower days, so 2 upper body, 2 leg days. And I'm going to increase the intensity in my workouts, not as much rest. I'm also going to be doing a cold shower every morning. And I want to note these changes simply because the carnivore diet itself is going to make changes to my body and my mood and so forth. But changing a workout routine in itself, or taking a cold shower every day in itself, and not drinking coffee every day in itself, could have significant changes. So it's important to note those along with the carnivore diet itself. I'll be doing those. A couple things that I'm going to try to keep consistent is I've been tracking my sleep for the last 6 months or so, and I have been averaging 7 hours essentially right on the dot. So I'm going to try to keep my sleep the same, hopefully maybe even get some more. And I do take the supplement creatine monohydrate. I'm going to continue taking that daily as I begin this carnivore challenge. I am optimistic as far as the results of how this challenge is going to end for me, but I want to be realistic as well. I know that there'll be some good. I know that there'll be some bad. As far as the good parts go, I think that at least in the first week or so, I'll rapidly lose weight, and that'll be from getting all that inflammation out of my body. And then I think as time goes on, as the month goes on, I think that we'll see a downward trend in my weight and in my total body fat percentage, so that's good. I'm hoping for the consistent energy all day that supposedly the carnivore brings, since you aren't eating any carbohydrates. Your blood sugars seem to stabilize and stay the same throughout the whole day, so you don't have that afternoon crash after you eat lunch. So hopefully that's something that will happen for me. I'm hoping to have strength gains in the gym. I'm hoping to put on some muscle, but here comes the bad. I'll be able to make strength gains if I'm able to consume enough calories to not lose weight, because in order to build muscle you have to be in a caloric surplus. So in order for me to build muscle and lean muscle tissue and not lose a bunch of weight, I'm going to have to get all of those calories in on a daily basis. My maintenance calories right now is about 2,600 calories a day. And in mapping out for this diet, I've been looking at various calories for various weights of different meats and such. And it seems like that might be an issue, but hopefully there might be maybe a transition within the first couple of days where it's hard to eat a bunch, but maybe after a few days I'll be putting meat away like it's my job. We'll just have to see. Time will tell. Another thing I'm worried about is my meals becoming very redundant. I'm not so much worried about the bacon and eggs every morning or early afternoon because I eat the same thing basically every day for lunch now, but I think that the 1 pound of ground venison and ground beef every single night, I think that's going to get old pretty quick. So I'm intending to just eat it ground, but if I have to call an audible and make hamburger steaks or maybe meatballs, that's something that I'll just have to obviously come up with as time comes. I'm also going to expect some keto flu symptoms, again in the ketosis state when your body's transitioning. Some people liken the symptoms to when people quit smoking cigarettes, so I'm expecting that to be pretty intense. And then obviously the caffeine withdrawals, and a lot of people report that in the first week to 2 weeks of going carnivore, some pretty significant diarrhea. So hopefully between the keto flu and the caffeine withdrawals and that diarrhea, hopefully I'll pull through, but I think I will, and hopefully that just won't last too long. That basically concludes everything I wanted to touch in this first video of this carnivore series. I appreciate you watching. If you would please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can follow along as I post weekly updates, and eventually at the end of everything I'll draw a big conclusion and post a was it worth it? Will I keep doing it? Hopefully I love it. Hopefully it makes me feel great, and I'll continue to eat this way from here on out. If you're interested in learning more about the carnivore diet, I recommend looking up Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Sean Baker, and Michaela Peterson. They are all very involved with the carnivore world and obviously can go much further into depth on a lot of the anatomical and physiological differences between eating meat and not meat and all of those processes. But I just want to say thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.